Hello and welcome to Dotnet with Sikhen, and today's topic is control statements, loops. So let's see, iteration or looping statements. So what are these? These statements are used to repeat a block of code multiple times. So the first one is for loop, and here this one is the syntax, like for, and in parenthesis there are three statements. One is the initialization, that is int I equal to 0, and then second one is the conditional. So here basically it checks the condition like I is less than 10, and the third statement is increment or decrement, and inside this curly bracket we have the statements. So this is the for loop. Second one is the while loop. In while loop we have the initialization above the while block. So here you can see like int I equal to 0, and then we have the while block, and inside that we have the conditions check here like I is less than 10, and in the curly bracket we have the statements, and the very last statement is something increment or decrement one. And in the similar way we have the do while statement. So here again we have the initialization and then the do keyword, and in curly brackets we have the statements, and the last one is the increment or decrement, and after that, after this do block we have the while and then the conditions. So there is a difference between while and do while. In while it checks the condition first, like if it is true then only it comes inside this block, but in case of do while it comes once at least if irrespective of this condition is false in very first time. And then we have one more type of loop that is called for each loop, and the syntax is like for each, where, or any data type, item in items. So basically for each loop works in the collections. So we will discuss more in the later videos about the collections and generics. Okay, so let's flip to the Visual Studio and see all these things in action. Okay, so first one is the for loop. Okay, so as we know, like first we can write here for, and then int int I equal to 0, and then I is less than 10, and then I plus plus. So this one is the for block, and here you can print whatever you want to print it. So console dot write line, let's say, and then I want to print, let's say, the square of this number, right? So let's say I want to print I into I, something like that. So here how it works, like it comes first comes to this block, and then it checks first it initializes like I is equal to 0, and then it checks like if the value of I is less than 10, then it comes under this block, and then it prints the red line, console red line, I into I means the square of that I value, right? So this is the for loop, and let's run it and see the result. And I think better to see it in by putting a debugger here, so that it will be easy for us to navigate and try to understand like how it works. Okay, so here the output is like from 0 to 81, that is square of 9, 0 to 9. Okay, so let's put a breakpoint here and then see how it works. So I'm just running it again, and you can see now first time the value of I is 0. Okay, and then it checks whether the 0 is less than 10. Yes, if it is true then only it comes inside this, and it prints 0 into 0, that is 0. Again the value of I increases, right? So now the value of I becomes 1 here, and then it checks it again. So it comes here again, and it checks whether the value of I is less than 10 or not. So it is less than 10 because it is 1, so 1 is less than 10. So it goes inside this block, and then it executes these statements, and similar things it goes till the value of I is 9, right? And then once the value of I becomes 10, then it goes out, right? Now let's see the value of I, yeah, it goes out basically. So basically till 9 it prints, and then it goes out, right? So So in this way it works. Okay, let's move to the next loop, and that is our while loop. Okay, so as we know, like in while loop we have first the initialization, and then in while normally we can print it, similar things we can print it here also. So we have while, and then the conditions, and inside that curly brackets we have the statements, and very last statement is the increment or decrement of one. So here it is initialization, and then here it is condition, and then here it is increment or decrement, right? So this is the while loop, and similar things we have do while also, right? So do while loop. Now in do while loop, same thing here also. So now you can see, first we need to write the do statement, and in the curly bracket we need to write all the statements that basically we want, and the very last statement is the increment or decrement, and the last statement means after this do block is our condition check, right? So that's why we can say like at least one time it works, irrespective of it is failed or not. For example, let's say I'm writing here 10, right? So 10 is not less than 10, right? But still it will print 100 at least one time. Let's see. I'm removing this breakpoint here. Now you can see. So this is the output, 0 to 81, again 0 to 81, and the last statement is 100 only, because we have the check is we check it lastly, and it basically false because 10 is not less than 10, so it prints only one time. So this is all about the do while loop, and we have one more, that is the for each loop. So for each loop, as I told, like we need to work on the collections. Okay, so yeah, just for this demonstrative purpose I am just creating one loop, one array maybe. So let's create one array where numbers is something, or collections basically, right? So this is a collection. Okay, I'll discuss more these things in later videos, but yeah, so let's go with this for each loop. And now here you can see this is the statement, right? We have one more thing, yeah. So this is the statement, and here how it works, like it takes one number at a time from this collection. So here numbers is a collection list of integers basically. So we have 1 2 3 4 5, so and so it takes one by one, and then it prints. So number into number, again we have the square of this number, right? So let's run it and see the result. Yeah, here you can see 1 4 9 16 and 25, because there are only 5 numbers here in the collection. So yeah, that's it for today, and have a great day. Thank you.